How's it going, YouTube? What's going on, Man United fans? Welcome back for a new stream. 1st of December, nearly Christmas, 24 days to go. Sitting in a quality street. Why not? It's Christmas there. It's Christmas already. I haven't got the tree up yet. Has anybody else got the tree up? We haven't been lazy, to be quite honest with you. So, Arsenal tomorrow. 2 seconds. I'm just going to get the Everton Liverpool game up actually on TV. It's on Prime. Good quality on Prime. Has anybody else got Prime? Klopp's talking now. Everyone listen. Klopp's talking. Jokes. Right. Yeah. Where do we start? Arsenal tomorrow. Big game. It's kind of a bit of a clinch game in terms of where we need to be at. Obviously, we need to be beating the teams around us now. Arsenal is one of them. And we need to put Arsenal back into place. So, big game. This Amazon Prime is good quality. Has anybody else got Amazon Prime? It's really good quality anyway. Yeah. Game tomorrow, really looking forward to it. I kind of like a midweek game. You look forward to the games on a weekend. Really get sort of into that, and you're waiting for that all week. And when Champions League's there, it's great because you get a bit of midweek football. You're not waiting for your team for 7 days. But yeah, I like Christmas. I know the players don't, the managers don't, but it's nice to have a game on a Thursday. We've got a game on a Sunday, Palace. I'm actually there on Sunday with my little boy, so we're going to watch Palace on Man United Palace on Old Trafford on Sunday. So really looking forward to that. Big Thierry on screen tonight. Everybody else is watching it. Let us know in the comments. So yeah, big one. So we've got Arsenal mixed bag. Obviously, Arsenal performing pretty well at the minute. Mountain up and down sort of season they've had so far. A bit of a poor start, a bit of a clawback in terms of their results. Some better standout performances from like Smith Rowe. I think there's the doubt on some other players that they've got in the squad. I think, Saka is a doubt, so that could be a big plus point for Man United. Carrick's last game for United as well. What's going to happen to the staff? Are we going to retain staff there? So is Fletcher going to stay? Is Carrick going to stay? Should he stay? What do you guys reckon? Should he stay? Should he go after Rangnick comes in? Obviously, I saw Rangnick at Old Trafford today as well. So is it right that Rangnick would meet the staff? Is he going to retain Carrick? Is Carrick going to have some sort of role within the squad, or is he going to be told to kind of move on? Let's change the light on this one. Ooh, that's a bit bright, but that'll do. So is he going to be told to carry on at United, or is he going to be kicked out and moved on? Well, we'll see on that one. What do you guys think? Do you want him there? Personally, I think he's still got a role to play. He's been there for a long time now, not as a player, but as a coach since he's retired. Did a good job. I felt, or he's been doing a good job in the periphery from what I can see. He's learned quite a bit about the game from a management point of view, and you can see in his last 2 games, he's had 2 massive games in regards to, sort of, United's future, really. I mean, the Villarreal game was huge, obviously, to ensure that we qualified for the last 16, top of the group. And then, obviously, against Chelsea to gather a point, which could be a critical point at the end of the season when we look back at it. So, I think he deserves. I don't think that was an audition, but I do think that ultimately, he does possibly deserve some sort of role. Maybe not match day role or first team role, but I think he deserves some role within the club somewhere. I'm sure there is a position for him at some stage. So, big one there for him. The other coach is going to stay. Fletcher, as technical director, I would have thought so. I don't think he's had much of an impact in the day-to-day runnings of that team. I could be wrong. So, we'll have to see a little bit on that one. However, so Rangnick at Old Trafford, he's been walking around the ground today, having a look at it, looking at the ground. Is he going to be likely that he's there tomorrow in the stadium? I think most definitely. I think there'll be cameras all over him tomorrow. I think he'll definitely be there. Will he do an interview? Not as manager, but as in some capacity. Probably not. And I'd like to think that he'd be clever enough not to be doing an interview at that stage. So we'll see on that one. Is it probable that he's going to be already working? Well, probably not officially, or as he shouldn't be working because his work permit's not yet in place. It's delayed and it's due at the end of the week in time for the Crystal Palace game. However, do you think he actually will be involved tomorrow in some capacity? I think so. I think he's probably been watching enough of the United training games, enough United training, enough of the United games this season, and maybe a little last season, definitely this season, to make a judgment and a call and to look at the squad. Obviously, he's in tomorrow morning to make an assessment on where he thinks he should be at. Is he going to give Carrick the full reins of the decision-making process for tomorrow's game? I would like to think no. I would like to think that Rangnick will be making a decision on the squad tomorrow. I think he'll be at training in some capacity. There's no harm in him going and watching training. And I think in some capacity he will be making a call in some way. So I think we'll see a Rangnick's team tomorrow. I don't think we'll see a Carrick's team. But I don't think he'll make drastic changes. I think we've got to go out and try and win the game. I've put a prediction. I've put a lineup together, a formation and a lineup where I think that'll play tomorrow. It's not a formation that I would want to see long term or even short term, but I think it's one that's more realistic that we're most likely going to see tomorrow. Carrick's already come out and made various strong comments regarding Fred. And Fred's ability and the impact that Fred had on against Chelsea and against Villarreal and his importance within the team. So that was I think that's as good as saying he's going to be playing against Arsenal tomorrow. So I don't think they'll go defensive as they did against Chelsea, against Arsenal. So I don't think we'll see the three sort of holding midfielders, which technically they all are. McTominay, Matic and Fred, they're all pretty much the same player. Or there to do the same role. I don't think we'll see that from them three players. I don't think we'll see those three players tomorrow. I think he'll play more attacking, release one of the older midfielders, and that'll give him an option to play another attacking player. So yeah, we'll have a look at that formation. Injury list. Obviously, Maguire's back. We'll talk a little bit about that. Varane. What's the situation with Varane? Is Varane gonna play within the next week? It's looking very unlikely. I've read a little bit of a well, I don't know what you want to call them, articles or news reports or sections or whatever you want to call them within the segments within the online on myunited.com. However, it was clearly a nothing statement really from Carrick, a manager who's clearly not going to be in charge within the next sort of 48 hours beyond this this Arsenal game, and then so he's not making comment. He's not getting the level of information that Rangnick's going to get, and even if Rangnick did get that level of information, I don't think he's really going to divulge that with the media anyway. But having said that, I don't think. I think there was a fair bit of truth to it. It was just a pointless statement from a manager who didn't know a great deal. So there was a big article about, a page A4 article about Varane, and ultimately what he said was, he definitely won't be here this week. It's likely he'll be here probably by Sunday next week. In fact, if anything, it could be longer than next week. So it was almost you might as well have just said, "Don't ask me," because I don't actually chuffy know when he's coming back. So, in my view, with that statement and from what if it's a muscle injury, he's been out now a few weeks, 2 weeks, coming to 3 weeks. It's likely he'll probably be out for another week or 2 weeks max. So by the weekend, a week on Saturday, I think we'll probably see Varane back. But apparently he's back training on grass, so he isn't in the gym, which means he's got some stability in his his joints and in his muscle to be able to put his leg under a little bit more strain. I think give him a bit more gym work and then probably some game time in training, he's probably ready to go. So I would say probably another 2 weeks at very least. I think this week and next week, and then we'll probably see Varane back. It's never a tricky time. It's a tricky time because obviously you want him back, but the trouble is the Christmas period is a difficult period for players to come back because not just coming back for a game, they're potentially coming back and then I'm playing a game off the back straight away off, and then another game after that. And once Varane comes back, he's not going to play Varane, and then 3 or 4 days later not play Varane. He's going to play Varane once he's back until Varane gets another injury. So obviously we don't want to be in that position when he gets another injury. So therefore we need to make sure that when he does come back, he's fit enough to play within a short period of time. So that'll be an interesting one. Another issue is Shaw. Shaw's obviously still a doubt for United. I'm not sure why. Was it a concussion injury? It was an head injury, I think, or there was some issue there. Personally, I think it's a lack of form. I think it's funny how some players get these injuries when they're not playing really well. They don't seem to get these kind of niggly little knocks and injuries when they're playing well. It's usually when they're playing poorly. So yeah, let's just see on that one. Obviously, we'd love to see Shaw come back, sort of with Euro and post-Euro form. But obviously at the minute he's just not in any sort of form. Tellers was okay on the weekend. I think if he's got a little bit more to freedom, he probably comes a little bit more into his own. And his delivery, he's good. He's crossing on the weekend from deep, and his crossing was good. So I think we need to see more of that. I think Tellers has got an ability to deliver a good ball. And if we were to get that on the right-hand side as well as the left, we'd be deadly, wouldn't we, this season? So that's something that Rangnick is clearly going to have to work on when he does come in to try and get us in that mood where we're similar to Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea, where we rely heavily on our full-backs to give us that depth and attacking depth. So, yeah, Shaw still a doubt. Let's have a little look at the formation then. So this is kind of where I think we will probably be at, and it's probably no surprise to anybody, so I do apologise if you're looking at it going, well, that's rubbish. It's not the formation I would love for us to play, or the players I would love for us to play, but I think that'll be the formation that I think we'll see tomorrow, unfortunately. I think what's happened there from Sunday is that, Fred's going to drop back, Matic is probably not going to play, and I think he'll start with McTominay. I think McTominay will then Matic will come off for Rashford, and we'll see Rashford sort of slot into that left hand side. Personally, I think, and I've said this for a while, I think Rashford is better as an impact player. I don't think he's a player who plays with a lot of energy at pressing. Keane brought that up as an issue as well. I was really disappointed with him in the first half in that Chelsea game. Second half, he was brilliant. Solidly, for me, he's an impact player, is Rashford. And I think, for me, Martial should be starting the game. He's done nothing wrong since he's been playing this season. And I think Martial deserves a shout, personally. So I'd be playing Martial if I was Carrick, or if it's Rangnick deciding who's going to pick the side. In inverted commas, we obviously know Rangnick's not working, but let's be honest, he's going to be picking the side, isn't he, for tomorrow? So yeah, all hope that I think that's what he'll go with. But I think personally, I'd love to see Martial. I think Martial could do a job on the left. And then what we'll see, what we would see is then Rashford coming on and bringing that energy, which is what we need. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate there in that respect. But I think, because I don't think Rashford gives us enough of that energy. But then, with Arsenal, you just never know. I suppose they've had an up and down season. They're missing some players as well, and we could see a little bit of a Rashford dominating that left hand side. So we'll see. I do think coming back to the back four, the keeper. I think David De Gea, I think will definitely start the game. Maguire's going to come back in. I don't think he can. a foul to not play Maguire. However, what I will say is I thought Eric Bailly had a fantastic game on Sunday. I thought he looked more sound. He was cutting out early crosses. He was cutting out things aerially. He was making good tackles and putting away dangerous balls out of the box. I thought he was good. I thought he was very good, and he was confident on the ball. Always a little nervous with Bailly. You never seem to know what you're going to get. But he when called upon, he was good. And Lindelof is a good secondary partner. He's never going to be somebody who's going to command that back line. He's always going to look to somebody else next to him who's going to do that. And I think, Lindelof is still a good defender. He just needs somebody alongside him who knows a little bit more than he does, who's going to instruct him what to do. And when that's in place, Lindelof's a good defender. Obviously, Maguire hasn't been that person, and so that's why it's fallen apart. But it worked with Bailly on Sunday, and there's been a lot of fans, to be fair, saying, let's play him. Obviously, I had a poor game. Was it against Liverpool, Man City, where he scored the own goal? I can't remember off the top of my head now. I sort of put those games to bed. Coleman's shouting at Pickford there. Pickford making hesitant and making a wrong decision straight away. Yeah. Wow, that was slow from Pickford. But yeah, so I think Maguire's going to be back in. I don't think they can afford to publicly humiliate Maguire for not playing him. But having said that, he's just come back from injury. So I've put Maguire in there. That's not to say that I want to see Maguire in there. I just think he will be in there. Yeah, so I think that's what will happen. I think Maguire will be in there. And that's what we'll see. I think Tellez will play the game. I think it's too late now to give some injury update on Tellez on Shaw. So I think Tellez will definitely 100% play the game tomorrow, unless they really get some injury improvement on Shaw and they risk it. They feel like the risk's worth it. But for me, I think Tellez did okay on Sunday, and I think they'll go with him again go with him again tomorrow. Wan-Bissaka's obviously right, it goes without saying, and then we've got Freddie McTominay in the middle, which I think is painful to most. I'd love to have slotted Van der Beek in there and gone with Fred and gone with Fred and Van der Beek, or McTominay and Van der Beek, but I genuinely don't think this is more a realistic prediction in terms of the formation. I just don't think he'll play Van der Beek. I think he'll play Freddie McTominay. I don't know how Salah's missed that, by the way. I don't know if anybody's watching the Everton Liverpool game, but Salah just missed an absolute sitter. So yeah, McTominay and Fred in there. I don't think there'll be a McTominay Van der Beek. I really don't think there'll be that, or Fred Van der Beek. But yeah, and then in attacking midfield role, which I think for me, this has got to be seen as a 4-3-3. Bruno's got to drop into that middle when it's not working, which will allow McTominay and Fred to sort of push wider in the midfield rather than being sitting in narrow. So if Bruno actually drops sort of into the middle of the three, then it'll push the other two sort of wider, which will support Sancho and it'll support Rashford. So yeah, obviously there's got to be some pressing. Does pressing work when you've got a narrow midfield? Yeah, it does. If you pick up your man, I think it'll be all right. And if Tellez and Wan-Bissaka push forward, expecting the loose ball. So yeah, it could work. Obviously, Ronaldo back in. I think Ronaldo will start after all the controversy. He's got to start. 100% starting. And I think we could see a goal from him tomorrow. He likes Arsenal, likes playing against Arsenal. So I think we could see a goal from Ronnie tomorrow. Sancho on the right, be screaming about him playing the right. Finally plays on the right, and he's been unbelievable since he's been playing there. I say unbelievable. I think we've still got another 4 or 5 gears to see from Sancho, to be quite honest with you. And once that consistency gets up and he gets a bit of confidence to start driving at players and driving at full-backs and beating people and running at people, we're going to see a different Sancho, a completely different Sancho, which is going to bring Ronaldo into the game, and it's going to bring other players like Bruno into the game as well. So it'll start kicking on for me. I really do see a positive turnaround. not because of the Rangnick transformation, mainly because of the Ollie sacking. So a different sort of spin on it. I really don't think that Rangnick is the main catalyst for it. I really don't. I think Rangnick was going to do wonders for the team, but I don't think he's the main catalyst for the reason why this team's suddenly going to change its tune. I think the main catalyst for it is the fact that Ollie's gone, and it's giving these players a kick up the backside, and we're starting to look at it from a different perspective, and the players have got to look inward, and hopefully that's giving it some sort of kickstart. But obviously Rangnick's going to come in and he's going to try and transform that. I don't know the guy very well. We've done a couple of pieces on him, a couple of streams on him, and wow, Everton nearly scored. It's a good game so far. And yeah, so I really do feel he'll do well. He's got a tough job. I think his weakness is probably, obviously, he's our midfield and the depth that he's got in his defence, in his back four, and his wing backs. His defence and his midfield are the two weakest areas, which is a big part of your football team. But unfortunately, we're so top heavy with likes of Bruno, Sancho, Martial, Cavani, Ronaldo, Rashford. We're so unbelievably Mason Greenwood, not even mention Mason. We're so top heavy and so unbelievably talented going forward that, you know, you'd think we'd blow most teams away, but we're so weak when it comes to creating anything from midfield and transferring that getting that transition from midfield and from defence to the players who then have got that ability to kill teams off and to hurt teams. So yeah, so that's the situation with the formation. I think that's what we'll see tomorrow. I can't see much change to that. The areas where we might see a little bit of change is if he gambles on. It would tell us Shaw's deemed fit and Shaw comes in for Tellez. I don't think that'll happen. If Maguire's not deemed 100% and Bailly sticks in there, we could see that happen. It's probably more 60-40, 70-30. That's not going to happen in favour of Maguire playing. We could see a Van der Beek, McTominay, or a Van der Beek Fred. I can't see Van der Beek starting the game, mainly because I just don't think they want to take too much of a risk, which is a shame, because I think there's room and improvement to start incorporating him into the team. Personally, I think Bruno's been poor. I think he's been poor for the last 5 games maybe, but definitely, comfortably, I'd say 4. That's poor. Yeah, so I really do feel as if that we won't see that risk. We won't see that risk taken, and that's a shame. But that's genuinely that's how I feel that will happen. I think he'll go with a safe Fred and McTominay, and then he'll go with Bruno. And Bruno really needs to sort of get his head down and have a good game in this game, and stop worrying about Ronaldo and getting it to Ronaldo, and just play his game and stop trying too hard and making silly passes and pushing it too far. So I really do feel like Bruno's got a big game in this game to prove his worth and to kick on and do something in this game. So that's Bruno, and then I don't see a change. I think we'll see Rashford, Ronaldo, Sancho in that front three. Could possibly see a Martial instead of Rashford, but I really doubt it. I think it's more likely we'll see Rashford on that left. So yeah, that's a formation I think we'll see tomorrow. So yeah, big game. Just on the Pogba front, obviously I saw some social media posts on Pogba. Is it all just spin? Is it all just hype? Is it all just trying to distract the fans? I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy and truth, a lot of truth as well, regarding all that, and from like the Glazers wanting to making sure that the fans see what they want to see, or making sure that the fans see what the Glazers want them to see, and rather than concentrating on the major issues surrounding the club. But I don't know. Is it a good sign? Do we want to see Pogba back? I still feel like Pogba with his talent has got a future. Does Rangnick think that we've Henderson 1-0? That was just so easy. It's almost a penalty. That was almost a penalty there. Just passed. They're saying that it's a tremendous finish, Ali McCoist. It's a good finish. It was a side foot, left foot into the bottom right hand corner, but I think, to be quite honest, it's very easy. I think Pickford's already calling for that. He just pushes it back. It's quite. I mean, I'm not a professional footballer, obviously, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend I can do what Anderson could do. But when the ball's coming towards you at steady pace, you just almost push it back the same way, and it'll just bend back towards itself. So he knew what he was doing. It was very straightforward, really, for Henderson there on that one. If you're watching the game, it's Liverpool-Everton game. If you're watching it, obviously some big games on tonight on Amazon Prime. Not sponsored by Amazon Prime, just letting you know. But it's good quality, to be fair. Very good quality. Not in terms of the game, just in terms of the coverage. But yeah, so Pogba, is it a good sign? Do we want to see Pogba coming back? I'm not entirely sure. I think he's definitely got unbelievable quality. I think he's still got an unbelievable threat. The thing is with Pogba, unlike lots of midfielders in the world, and most definitely in the league, he has some things that other people do not have in his game. That's obviously no doubt his technical ability, his passing range, but it's just his sheer strength on the ball. Ridiculous strength. The only other player I can compare him against is Yaya Toure back in the day. He had that level of strength, composure. It wasn't, but he's just losing that, and he doesn't sort of trust himself enough. I think unlike Yaya, he had ultimate confidence in his ability at every given time. Wasn't daunted by the occasion, and I think that's what we want to see from Pogba a little bit more. I think Rangnick, if he's got anything about him, will want that player in his team and want to give himself a chance to convince himself that Pogba's got a future still at Man United, and trust himself as a coach as well, that he can get the best out of Pogba. I 100% believe that that's going to be the case, because I think what he'll want to do, like Tuchel did at Chelsea, bearing in mind that Rangnick has apparently influenced these sort of coaches, and Klopp did at Liverpool, is you're never out until you're out the door. So you've always got a chance to prove what you've got. You've always got a chance to come back into the team as long as you show work ethic, you show willing, and you've got an ability. And I think Rangnick will want a clean slate, to look at all the players evenly and give everybody a chance. So genuinely think Pogba's got a sort of a point to prove. Just a moment, the Everton fans all clapping, and Liverpool fans clapping Ava White, young girl who lost her life in this year. Only 12 years old, so sad for her. So just a small moment for Ava White, Everton fan there. So it's quite nice of the fans to do that. I thought there was a penalty there. So I think that's kind of all I wanted to say, really, guys. So I'm going to do a watch along tomorrow. Really can't wait for that, actually. Really looking forward to getting back at it, watching the game. Obviously, seeing a bit of Rangnick walking around in the stadium, some hype around that. Hopefully, the players will be excited to start showing the manager what they're all about. And we kick on and we hammer the Arsenal. I think we could do with a win against a top club. But no, genuinely think that we deserve a good performance against a top club, and we really do sort of deserve that. So I can't wait for tomorrow. Can't wait for the game. Going to be doing a watch as long as I say to with that game. So if you do catch any of my shares on Twitter, make sure you watch along. So I'll be following the game as it kicks off, probably 15-20 minutes before the game. So we'll be doing that. So thanks guys. If you've been watching, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like as well, because it does help the channel. Catch you in the next one, which will be tomorrow against Arsenal. So hopefully we win 2-3-0. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Right, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.